I outlived my own reputation. That's a strange thing to admit at 101. There was a time when my name meant something, when meetings paused until I spoke, when younger men straightened their backs as I walked in, when my phone rang because decisions depended on me. Now, the pharmacy misspells my name on prescription bottles. And here's what shocked me the most. The day my importance faded, nothing dramatic happened. No Sander, no collapse, no ceremony marking the end of my relevance. The world didn't even blink. At first, that hurt. I had built my life carefully, brick by brick, long hours, sacrificed weekends, missed birthdays. I told myself I was building something permanent, something that would echo long after I was gone. But permanence is a story ambitious people tell themselves so they can sleep at night. In reality, the world updates itself quietly. You get replaced, then remembered, then mentioned, then not at all. And life keeps moving like you were a footnote. When I retired, I thought I would feel proud. Instead, I felt erased. For months, I tried to stay visible. I attended events I didn't care about, gave advice nobody requested, repeated old victories in conversations like they were still currency. I wasn't offering wisdom. I was negotiating with time. I wanted to matter again. But here's what no one prepares you for. When you stop mattering publicly, you are forced to meet yourself privately. That meeting is uncomfortable. Who are you without applause? Without responsibility? Without people needing you? One afternoon, I sat in a park watching two young men laughing uncontrollably over something on their phones. The kind of laughter that doesn't care who hears it. I felt irritated. Then I realized something darker. I wasn't irritated by them. I was irritated by how free they were. At their age, I was already measuring my worth, comparing titles, planning my climb. Every room was a ladder. Every person was either useful or in the way. I called it ambition. Looking back, it was anxiety dressed in a suit. Those boys had nothing to prove, and I had spent decades proving everything. That's when I understood something that took me nearly a century to learn. Reputation is rented. Peace is owned. I began experimenting with invisibility. I stopped correcting people when they misremembered my past. Stopped inserting myself into debates. Stopped defending decisions that were already history. At first, it felt like shrinking. Then it felt like breathing. Without the pressure to maintain an image, I noticed things I had ignored for years. The warmth of sunlight on my hands. The rhythm of my own breathing. The quiet strength in my daughter's voice when she spoke about her own life. A life that did not require my approval. I realized I had spent years trying to shape everyone else's path because I feared mine was ending. Control is often just fear with better posture. As my reputation faded, something else grew. Stillness. I began walking slower, not because I had to, but because there was finally nowhere urgent to be. And in that slowness, I discovered a strange freedom. When you are no longer impressive, you become observant. When you are no longer competing, you become present. When you are no longer central, you become peaceful. I used to believe extraordinary was the goal. Now I think ordinary is the gift. A quiet cup of tea, a conversation without agenda, a day where nothing needs proving. I am 101 years old. I forget names. I repeat stories. Some days I feel fragile, but I no longer feel crowded inside my own mind. And that is worth more than every room I once commanded. If you are young, you will ignore this. You will chase. You will build. You will fight to be seen. That's natural. Just remember this when the noise becomes exhausting. You are allowed to step out of the spotlight. You are allowed to let the world continue without you. You are allowed to be small, because the quiet life, the one without headlines, without applause, without constant proving, is the only life you actually get to feel from the inside. I outlived my reputation, and for the first time in my life, I feel like I finally met myself.